Imagine a lake. Not just any lake, a body of water the size of a major city trapped in complete darkness for 15 million years. No sunlight, no connection to the outside world, sealed beneath 4 kilometers of Antarctic ice. Now imagine scientists discovered not just one of these lakes, but over 400 of them hidden beneath Earth's most inhospitable continent. And when they finally drilled into one of them, what they found defied every prediction about where life can exist. Welcome to the Planetary File. I'm about to show you Antarctica's most astonishing secret and the bizarre life forms scientists discovered thriving where nothing should survive. Before we dive into the frozen unknown, smash that like button and subscribe with notifications on. We're exploring the most extreme and mysterious places on Earth, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Here's something that will blow your mind. Until 1996, scientists had no idea these massive lakes even existed. Picture Antarctica, 14 million square kilometers of ice, the coldest, driest, windiest continent on Earth. Temperatures that plunge to minus 89 degrees Celsius. Ice so thick it would take a stack of 10 Empire State Buildings to match its height in some places. For over a century, explorers and researchers assumed Antarctica was just ice. Solid frozen rock and ice all the way down. Then, in the 1970s, a British glaciologist named Robin was flying over East Antarctica using ice-penetrating radar. He was mapping the ice sheet's thickness when his instruments detected something impossible. Beneath Vostok Station, one of the most remote research outposts on Earth, the radar showed a completely flat surface. Not the irregular rocky terrain you'd expect at the bottom of an ice sheet. Perfectly smooth, perfectly level. Robin suspected water, liquid water. But the scientific community was skeptical. The location was too cold, too isolated, too impossible. It took 2 decades of additional surveys, satellite data, and repeated measurements before scientists finally accepted the truth in 1996. Lake Vostok is real. And it's absolutely massive. According to estimates, Lake Vostok stretches 250 kilometers long and 50 kilometers wide. That's roughly the size of Lake Ontario, or larger than the entire island of Puerto Rico. Its deepest point plunges over 900 meters. That's deeper than 3 Eiffel Towers stacked on top of each other. The lake contains an estimated 5,400 cubic kilometers of water. That's about 1,300 cubic miles, more fresh water than some entire countries have access to. But here's the truly mind-bending part. This water has been completely isolated from the rest of Earth's biosphere at least 15 million years, possibly up to 25 million years. When this lake was sealed off by ice, there were no humans. Our earliest ancestors hadn't even evolved yet. Megalodon sharks still ruled the oceans. The entire course of mammalian evolution, from primitive primates to modern humans, occurred while this water sat unchanged in eternal darkness. So, how does liquid water exist beneath 4 kilometers of ice in the coldest place on Earth? The answer involves physics that sounds almost magical, but is beautifully simple. First, pressure. The weight of 4 kilometers of ice creates immense pressure at the bottom, and pressure lowers water's freezing point. At the base of the ice sheet, water doesn't freeze until it reaches approximately minus 3 degrees Celsius instead of 0. Second, geothermal heat. Deep beneath Antarctica's ice, Earth's interior radiates warmth upward from the planet's core. This heat flux, though minimal, is enough to keep the bottom layer of ice right at its melting point. Third, insulation. Once you're beneath 4 kilometers of ice, you're completely insulated from the brutal surface temperatures. The ice itself acts as a thermal blanket, trapping whatever warmth exists below. The result: deep, liquid water beneath miles of ice. But Lake Vostok isn't alone. As satellite technology improved and ice-penetrating radar became more sophisticated, scientists started finding more lakes, many more. By 2012, researchers had identified over 400 subglacial lakes beneath Antarctica's ice sheet. Some are tiny, just a few kilometers across. Others rival Lake Vostok's enormous size. The largest concentration sits in East Antarctica, but they exist across the entire continent. Some are connected by channels and rivers flowing beneath the ice. Yes, rivers. Underground river systems transporting water from lake to lake in complete darkness. These aren't static bodies of water either. Scientists discovered that some subglacial lakes drain and refill over time. Lake Vostok itself appears to have a slow circulation pattern, with water freezing onto the ice ceiling above while fresh water melts from below. It's an entire hidden hydrological system that's been operating beneath our feet, or rather, beneath billions of tons of ice, for millions of years. Discovering these lakes existed was one thing. Actually reaching them was a completely different challenge. Scientists faced a dilemma that seemed impossible to solve. How do you drill into a pristine, isolated ecosystem without contaminating it? Remember, these lakes have been sealed for millions of years. Introducing modern bacteria, chemicals, or pollutants could destroy whatever fragile ecosystems exist below. It would be like opening a time capsule and then throwing garbage into it. The Russians had established Vostok Station directly above Lake Vostok back in 1957, decades before anyone knew the lake existed. In 1989, they started a deep ice drilling project, originally just to study ancient ice cores and climate history. The drill descended deeper and deeper, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. In 1998, they reached 3,623 meters, just 120 meters above the lake's surface. Then they stopped. Why? Because the international scientific community raised alarm bells. Drilling fluid, a mixture of kerosene and freon used to prevent the hole from freezing shut, would contaminate the lake if they broke through. The project halted while scientists debated what to do. For over a decade, the drill sat motionless while researchers developed new protocols and technologies. Meanwhile, scientists studied ice cores pulled from just above the lake. These cores contained ice formed from lake water that had frozen onto the ice sheet's underside, essentially a sample of the lake itself, frozen solid. Analysis revealed something shocking. The ice contained DNA. Not human DNA, not any species known to science. The samples contained genetic material from thousands of different microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, single-celled organisms that somehow survived in this extreme environment for millions of years. Most belonged to species completely unknown to science. They'd evolved in total isolation, adapting to conditions unlike anywhere else on Earth. The discovery answered one question and raised 100 more. Life exists in Lake Vostok, but what kind of life? How does it survive? And what else is down there? Finally, in February 2012, Russian scientists made the decision. After developing new sterilization procedures and drilling techniques, they pushed the drill bit those final 120 meters. The drill broke through. For the first time in 15 million years, Lake Vostok connected to the outside world. Water immediately shot up the borehole, propelled by the immense pressure from the ice above. The drilling team collected samples as the water rose, then allowed the hole to freeze naturally, preventing contamination. The samples that emerged contained more microbial DNA, confirming that life thrives in these impossible conditions. But the story doesn't end there. The organisms found in Antarctica's subglacial lakes are extremophiles, life forms that survive in conditions that would kill virtually everything else. No sunlight means no photosynthesis. So how do these organisms get energy? Scientists believe they rely on chemosynthesis, extracting energy from chemical reactions involving minerals and gases dissolved in the water. The lake bottom contains sediments rich in iron, sulfur, and other elements. Bacteria can oxidize these chemicals, harvesting energy the same way we harvest energy from food. These microbes have evolved in complete darkness for millions of years. They've never seen light. They've never experienced seasonal change. The temperature in their world varies by maybe a degree or two over millennia. They represent an entirely separate branch of Earth's evolutionary tree, organisms that diverged from their surface relatives millions of years ago and evolved in isolation. Some of the identified species include thermophiles, normally found in hot springs, somehow adapted to near-freezing water; hydrogenophilus, that metabolize hydrogen gas; iron-oxidizing bacteria, that essentially breathe iron instead of oxygen; and hundreds of species that don't match anything in existing genetic databases. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. These discoveries have profound implications beyond Antarctica. If life can survive beneath 4 kilometers of ice, in complete darkness, feeding on chemical energy alone, where else might life exist? Europa, Jupiter's moon, is covered in a thick ice shell. Beneath that ice, scientists believe there's a global ocean of liquid water, kept warm by tidal heating from Jupiter's gravitational pull. Enceladus, Saturn's moon, has massive geysers shooting water vapor into space from an ocean beneath its icy crust. Both environments are remarkably similar to Antarctica's subglacial lakes. If life thrives in Lake Vostok, it could thrive in Europa or Enceladus. Antarctica's hidden lakes have become Earth's testing ground for astrobiology, the study of life elsewhere in the universe. NASA and other space agencies study these extreme environments to understand what biosignatures to look for when we finally send probes to explore those distant moons. Despite decades of research, enormous mysteries remain. Scientists have only scratched the surface, literally. Lake Vostok alone has been sampled at a single point. We have no idea what exists in other parts of the lake, let alone the 400+ other subglacial lakes scattered across Antarctica. Some researchers believe larger organisms could exist, not just bacteria, but perhaps microscopic animals like tardigrades or rotifers that have evolved in complete isolation. Others wonder if these lakes connect to a larger subglacial ocean system. Some models suggest that a continuous layer of liquid water might exist beneath much of Antarctica's ice sheet, creating the largest hidden aquatic ecosystem on Earth. There are also geological mysteries. Lake Vostok sits in a rift valley, suggesting tectonic activity beneath the ice. Some lakes might be heated by volcanic vents, creating warm spots in the frozen underworld. And then there's the time question. What happens when climate change causes Antarctica's ice sheet to melt? These lakes would be exposed to the surface for the first time in millions of years. Their isolated ecosystems would suddenly connect with modern Earth's biosphere. Would the ancient microbes survive? Would they compete with modern species? Could they pose any danger? Nobody knows. Antarctica's subglacial lakes represent one of Earth's last true frontiers, a hidden world that remained unknown until a few decades ago and is still barely explored. Over 400 lakes the size of cities, trapped beneath kilometers of ice, harboring life forms that evolved in complete isolation for millions of years. They challenge our understanding of where life can exist and expand the possibilities for life elsewhere in the solar system. Scientists are planning new missions to explore these lakes with advanced underwater robots and sterilization protocols that will prevent contamination. Within the next decade, we may finally see what lies beneath, not just frozen water, but potentially an entire ecosystem unlike anything we've encountered. The frozen continent is keeping secrets, but slowly, we're uncovering them. This is the Planetary File. If this journey into Antarctica's hidden world fascinated you, hit that like button right now and share this with someone who loves Earth's greatest mysteries. Drop a comment below. What do you think lives in these ancient lakes? Could there be larger organisms we haven't discovered yet? Subscribe and turn on notifications because we're exploring more of Earth's most extreme and incredible environments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.